The member for Hughes.
Move the amendment as circulated in my name.
The member for Hughes has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. During this debate, over many hours, I've heard many fine speeches.
Quietly, please.
And most of them had a very common theme, that all Australians should have the right to live free of discrimination. They should have the right, Mr Speaker, not to be thrown out of their jobs because of a truly held belief that they have. There should be a right to practice your religion as you see fit, with of course the one proviso, that it does not cause harm to others. Yet, today, in this country, there are many people that have a true and genuine held belief that they wish to be vaccine-free, and yet they are being discriminated against. They are being denied the right to participate in the Australian economy. I'm talking about airline pilots, nurses, paramedics, teachers, even truck drivers and shop assistants. If we are going to truly have a society where we want to sort of end all the discrimination, it should be across all areas, Mr Speaker. Therefore, the amendment that I seek to move would make it unlawful for a person to be discriminated against on their vaccine status if they held a genuine held religious belief that they wished to be vaccine-free. Now, I acknowledge, Mr Speaker, that vaccination in general has been one of the greatest public health achievements over the last century. But the COVID vaccines, we must admit, use a new, novel technology that has never been tried or tested in humans before. And therefore it is only fair, Mr Speaker, that citizens in a free, democratic country have the right to decide what substances that they inject into their body, free of coercion, free of discrimination. And that's what this amendment seeks to achieve, Mr Speaker. Now, the only argument against this is, does it put others at risk? Would allowing such an exemption put other Australians at risk? Now, there may have been arguments for that 6 to 12 months ago, Mr Speaker, but the data now is crystal clear from around the world. If you are vaccine-free, you are less likely to have COVID and less likely to spread it. For someone in my age group, the data from the UK COVID surveillance data shows that I would have a double the probability of having COVID if I was vaccine-free. Now, here, my good friend, the member for Macarthur, I doubt that. I would encourage him to go and look at that UK data, official data from the UK COVID health surveillance data, official UK government data. That is clearly what it shows. So I would hope, Mr Speaker, that members of this House would think about those thousands of Australians that are currently thrown out of their jobs, thrown out of their careers, doing it very tough at the moment. There is no grounds, there is no reason why those people should be not given the right to get back to work. That's what the bill, or this amendment that I propose, would do. And I hope it has support of many members of this House.
The Minister has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. The government does not support this proposed amendment to the Religious Discrimination Bill in relation to COVID-19 vaccination. The proposed amendments provide that exceptions in the bill, which provide that conduct in direct compliance with certain Commonwealth, State and Territory laws and orders, determinations and industrial instruments do not apply to conduct engaged in because a person has not received or does not demonstrate they've received a COVID-19 vaccination. These amendments, in the government's view, are misguided. Introducing such amendments would result in significant complexity for high-risk workplaces and could undermine public health measures. COVID-19 is a very serious illness and is especially dangerous for vulnerable people in the community. The Religious Discrimination Bill will not affect the ability of the government or employers to impose requirements for persons to be vaccinated against particular diseases, including the COVID-19 vaccines. Although some religious groups may have certain religious beliefs surrounding vaccination, it would not constitute discrimination under the bill for an employer to require employees to have such vaccinations where the requirement is reasonable. Whether such a requirement is reasonable depends upon all of the circumstances of the particular case. The amendments would also override the exception in clause 37 of the bill, which ensures that employers are able to comply with work health and safety laws and other laws.
The question is that the amendment be disagreed to. All those of that opinion say aye. The contrary, no. I didn't hear a seconder to that no. In under Standing Order 126, the member for Hughes may inform the chair that he or she wishes his or her dissent to be recorded, and the dissent is recorded in the votes and proceedings and in Hansard. You don't have the call, member for Hughes. The Minister.